Okay, welcome to 1 Foot of Books. My name's Shard. This is episode 8 in an ongoing series, an ongoing exploration of the book collection behind and around me. I like to call it the never-ending bookshelf tour because I don't think I'll ever run out of books to show you because I'm always buying more books. And, I think 1 foot at a time. We'll keep going for a while. 30 centimeters, 1 foot. Coming to you from the lovely Blue Mountains of New South Wales, Australia, just outside of Sydney. I've got 3 cockatoos out on the balcony now, eating some seed I put out there. Cockatoos, for anyone who lives in the Northern Hemisphere, cockatoos are kind of like snow. They're awesome when they first come. Beautiful and enjoyable watching them, but then after second or third week of snow / cockatoos being present, you're kind of over them. They're loud, they are annoying. Not that snow is loud, but cockatoos will start eating your house, picking apart wood, tearing apart fly screens to get food. So you're gonna gotta not feed them for a couple of weeks. I haven't fed them for a couple of weeks now. Just didn't get any seed. I was putting some fruit out there instead to attract different kinds of birds, because once you put seed out there, cockatoos, I don't know what it is, they can hear seed hitting the ground from like within a few kilometer radius. And I think at most I've had like 20 here competing for seed that I've put out. But anyway, we'll explore the wildlife that I have here in another episode. This is 1 Foot of Books, episode 8. All paperbacks and little hardbacks today. So, yeah, got a few to get through. This is the Shakespeare birthday book. Not exactly a book, like it's a book in that it is aesthetically a book, but it's a gold trim leaf kind of book with little stills in it, and it's a really cool little book. It's basically a calendar of the year, and you put people's birthdays in it, and it's got little quotes for every date. And I found this in a box of books outside my friend's bookshop. It's a very old book, 1881 this book is from, and it had only a few birthdays in it. So the person who first brought it used it a little bit, and then it went through basically over 100 years of not being used at all. So I started putting my loved ones' birthdays in it. There's an inscription at the first page. Everyone who I've found that, like all the old books that I've got, every inscription is written in cursive, so it takes a little while to decipher. I think this one says Edie Barmer or something. A present from her affectionate mother. October 4th, 1902. I don't know what that 1902 is. Maybe 1920? 1902? Yeah. Pretty cool. Cool little book though. I love this book. Whenever I think, am I forgetting someone's birthday? I tend to go and check it in here, and if I've written it in here, it's in here. It's also has a pressed flower in there. I wonder who put that pressed flower in there and how long it's been in there for. I do take care of this book. I don't stack other books on top of it. It's kind of fragile, but it's very beautiful, and I do like this book. And if you want me to read your appropriate Shakespeare quote associated to your birthday in this book, let me know. See, for example, if you were born on, March the 20th, from the first part of Henry IV, Act 5, Scene 3. For I profess not talking, only this, let each man do his best. That's bad, I haven't got my baby's mother's birthday in here. Whoops. Whoopsie. Anyway, to be The Little Black Songbook of Leonard Cohen. I went through a Leonard Cohen phase not long after I first got into Bob Dylan in a serious way. And I never really gave Leonard Cohen much time. I was like, he's that dour dude, you know? Kind of sings like this. And not like that at all. But I got into Leonard Cohen, and he was a great songwriter. Well, fantastic, beautiful songwriter. And a really good guitar player too. And this is a book, it's got like how many songs? I don't know. Maybe it says 70 songs in tablature form and chord chart form for a bunch of his awesome classic songs. Like, you know, Famous Blue Raincoat, Chelsea Hotel, Suzanne, you know, it's great. And I can play a few of his songs, but he was quite an accomplished guitarist, and you know, he had weird rhythm and timing and stuff like that. So interesting, very interesting. I saw him live with my friend Jane back, when was that? That must have been 2009, 2010. It was one of the best gigs I ever went to. I'm so glad I saw him, and he is of course deceased now, as are we all destined to. John W. McKeevy, MacV, Space Weapons, Space War, the hardware for the war to come. This is kind of like a, you know, slice of time kind of thing. First published 1979. This is a 1982 edition. Probably a little bit outdated now. I mean, all the stuff they've got now, they're probably, you know, already obsolete. Death rays, artificial black holes, tractor beams, force fields, teleportation. These are becoming science fact. Are they? I don't know. I haven't read this book. I got it from my ex. It was in her collection, and I was just like, that looks cool. I'll put it in mine, because she wanted to get rid of it. And yeah, haven't read it. Probably give it away. If anyone wants it, if someone's desperate for it, let me know. I'll send it to you. Free of charge. The Secret Ascension, or Philip K. Dick is Dead, Alas, by Michael Bishop. I got this, must have been 2007. I was walking through Parramatta, through the main square there by the church, and someone had a bookstall there, just a junkie not a junkie's bookstall, but like a junk/bookstore. And I saw this, and I was like, oh, The Secret Ascension. I was into Philip K. Dick at the time, and I still am. I'm a big fan of Philip K. Dick. I love Dick in my brain. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of this. And I read that much, like that much, in 2007. And I think it just got a bit too weird, a bit crazy for me, and I just kind of stopped. And yeah, I never picked it up again. Apparently it's a bit of a decisive book. If you look online, it's just like, yeah, a little bit too wacky. Other people were like, this is great. And it was written not long after Philip K. Dick died. And I've got an old business card of mine from when I worked at the phone booth. The phone booth. Oh, I've wasted so many years. And I've written some notes on the back. Fraser, Golden Bow. Campbell J, Hero with 1,000 Faces. Yeah, there you go. I like finding old notes to myself. Haven't finished it. I don't know if I ever will. The Secret Ascension. An Observer's Book of Music, 1959 edition. A cool little book with nice little illustrations, all about music, capital M, music. Yeah, I've dipped into this, in and out of this. It's good if you want to catch up on some music theory, or just like go deeper about music. It's got an inscription, again in cursive, to Wendy T. Congratulations. Honours in 2nd grade. Good girl. Hoping for the same in 3rd grade. And I can't read the name that they've signed. Good girl, Wendy. If you're Wendy T, I got this. Where did I get this? Oh my goodness. Vinnies, Dulwich Hill. Yeah. If you are Wendy T and you want this back, let me know. Got some great illustrations, you know, good, you know. What's a scale? It's a ladder. Ooh, chaos is a ladder. Notes of a key arranged in order, such as C major. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. That's too far. C. Also C key. Yeah, cool little book. Cool little book. I do like it. The Observer's Book of Music. Rainier Maria Reich. Rilke, Letters to a Young Poet. I've read probably half of this. I got it one time. I took it on holiday. Didn't read much of it because, you take books on holiday. That's my holiday book. I'm going to read it. You don't read holiday books, especially when you have children. You may as well just burn them or just leave them at home or leave them at the hotel room and hope someone else without kids can come along and read the book. I read a little bit of this. It's good. I was kind of brought around to Rilke by the amazing Tim Ferriss and Alain de Botton podcast. If you haven't listened to that, that's one of my very few repeat podcasts I'll listen to again. Alain de Botton and Tim Ferriss. Yeah, it's a great podcast, and they talk about Letters to a Young Poet a little bit in that, and I got it. You can get it cheap. It's a very short book. It's only a few dollars, pretty much anywhere. It's very cool. It's basically Rilke the poet writing letters to another poet, like just correspondence. But it's very nice. Very, very cool book. Again, I haven't read enough of it or remember enough of it to really comment on it, but it's in the collection. Paulo Freire, Pedagogy of the Pedagogy of the Oppressed. I either have had not enough coffee today or too much. Paulo Freire is I don't know if he's still alive, but he is a Brazilian socialist writer, and this is all about stuff going on in Brazil pre-1970. Haven't read it. Again, I got it from my friend's dead uncle's book collection. Yeah, haven't read it. I just like the title, which I cannot pronounce. Pedagogy. Sounds so silly when you say it more than once. Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Move on. Carl Sagan, Cosmos. I got this after I watched the Neil deGrasse Tyson show of the same name. Is that coming back? I don't know. Did one season? Is it coming back? Do two? Why have I not seen season 2? Haven't read it. I haven't read any Carl Sagan books that I've got in my collection. I don't know why. I've got a few, but like literally 3. Haven't read any of them. This is a really good condition paperback. I don't think anyone's ever read this. I feel sorry for it. 1994 reprint. Yeah. First published 1981. And like the basis of Carl Sagan's original Cosmos TV show. I need some coffee. Just hook it into my veins. The Essential Lenny Bruce. I got this from a bookshop in Katoomba when I was visiting up there with an ex-girlfriend of mine. $5. Oh, what a bargain. This is a great book. If anyone's familiar with Lenny Bruce, this basically is a collection of his stand-up. I don't know who wrote it out, who kind of, went through, listened to everything and typed it all out. They did a really good job. Edited by John Cohen. John Cohen, bang up job. This is a great book. He's a little bit dated now, but Lenny Bruce was and is an important figure in not only the comedy world, stand-up comedy world, but also the idea of free speech and what is obscenity. And, he was active back in the 50s and 60s. And, man, we take for granted what he was punished for 50 years ago. Only 50 years ago. You could get away with so much less. And now we whinge, no, we got no free speech. No, go back to be Lenny Bruce. You had no free speech, man. Back then, oh my God, get in trouble for swearing on stage, get in trouble for making religious jokes. And now we got, you know, all sorts of crazies on the internet saying whatever they want, and they hiding behind the banner of free speech. This is I really do like this book. It's one of my favorites. 1973 edition, originally published in 72. Yeah, Lenny Bruce, man, he was great. He was great. And if you haven't listened to any of his stuff, it's still pretty groundbreaking now. Some of it's pretty dated, pretty tame, pretty like, you know, pretty problematic. But there's no denying the influence and the power he had over his audience and subsequent audiences and comedians since then. So, much love to Lenny Bruce. Paul A. Robinson, The Sexual Radicals. Haven't read this one. Got this from the Vinnies. No, the Salvos in Marrickville. I got it because it's got a chapter on Wilhelm Reich in there, and I do like Wilhelm Reich a lot more than I've read Wilhelm Reich. I like his history, I like what he's written, but for the life of me, I have not read any of his books cover to cover. Yeah, so that's why I picked that one up. The Wisdom of Confucius, edited by Lin Yutang. I got this basically because it's a cool little edition. It is an old edition. And because it was edited by Lin Yutang, who is one of my favorite Chinese writers. He did a great book called The Importance of Living back in the, I think, 20s or 30s. And that still like stands up today. That's a wonderful book. Wonderful. And I got this, I was like, oh, edited by Lin Yutang. I haven't got any Confucius stuff, so I got it. And it's got some amazing illustrations. It's got some beautiful illustrations by a woman named Zhang Yi Wang, and there's some wonderful like 2 or 3 tone illustrations throughout it, and just, you know, history of Confucius, biography of Confucius, all his, you know, what he say, all the stuff that he said, and some of his, like, I don't know if did he write books? I don't know, but anyway, it's all in here. And I was very happy to get this copy. It's got an inscription. It was originally published, this version is from 1943. And it's got an inscription, Joan Alsop, Christmas 1946, from Paul. That's the kind of inscription I like. But then, of course, you know, sometimes you want a bit more insight. Jean Alsop, I love you so much, Christmas 1946, from Paul. When will you love me back? No, I don't know. Can't make those kind of demands on people. I got that from the Vinnies in Chatswood. I was working up there, and I used to go there Saturday and Sunday when I was working on the weekends, and that had some damn fine books there, sir. Robert Anton Wilson, The Widow's Son, Illuminatus Chronicles Volume 2. I got this from, yes, I got it from Gould's Books up in Newtown, in their old shop, their old big cavern shop. And I was very surprised when I found this, and I paid, I think, like $6 for it. Love Robert Anton Wilson. This is a great book, part 2 of the Illuminatus Chronicles. Part 3 I've never seen, and is hard to get, and is expensive if you want to buy it secondhand, called Nature's Son. First one's great, second one's cool. Follows Sigismundo Celine, who's the relative ancestor of one of Robert Anton Wilson's other main characters in the Illuminatus trilogy, in the 1700s, as he goes through initiation into like Freemasonry, secret societies, brain expansion, you know, and yeah, cool books, man. The first 2 I've read a few times, really like them. They're funny, they're daring, there's lots of cool adventure, there's like exploring of weird stuff, and yeah, love this book. I think I've got 2 copies of this. I've got another version of it somewhere. And if you've seen a copy of Part 3, you got it cheap, or you've seen it cheap, buy it for me, please. I'll pay for postage. Yeah, got that at Gould's. Robert Anton Wilson. Robert Heinlein. Stranger in a Strange Land. Got this from Vinnies in Marrickville. No, not Vinnies, Salvo's. It's got a busted cover. But this was one of the first major, like, influential sci-fis I read back in the early 2000s. Great book. If you haven't read it, it's awesome. A little bit dated now, but it has a lot of cool theories and stuff in it, and, you know, very influential. And I do like this book, and I like that cover. It's about a guy who is one of the first humans born on Mars, and he learns from the Martians up there, and he comes back to Earth and shares what he's learned. And yeah, very cool book. I haven't read it since I first read it. I wouldn't mind rereading that at some point. This copy is very busted up, and I've had it a long time, but I'm a big fan of that book. The Thomas Paine reader. I was going through a stage of, like, you know, reading about political stuff a long time ago, and Thomas Paine has written a couple of very influential things. One, of course, The Rights of Man. I'll distill that down for you. Not the actual what he wrote, but what is it, The Rights of Man? If you have more money, you have more rights. And Common Sense was another really good essay of his that's in here. That's from my friend's book shop, Urchin Books in Marrickville, years and years ago. I haven't read it cover to cover. It's pretty heavy stuff, written back in the 1700s. Yeah. The Magical World of Aleister Crowley. Got this from Vinnies, Dulwich Hill. One of the last books I got at Dulwich Hill Vinnies before I moved out of the area. And I haven't read it. It's got some cool pictures in it. It's got cool pictures. But yeah, I haven't read it. I've got a few of his other books, Aleister Crowley. Got the Confessions. I still haven't read that. It's in quite bad condition. But yeah, I'll read that at some stage. And Carol Capek. Ruhr and War of the Newts. Haven't read this. I love the Masterworks editions. I think, you know, they're probably pretty much all worth reading. This is a book that the first use of the word robot in it. I think this guy made up the word robot, or coined the term, I should say. That's what you say. Made up. Coined the term robot. Written against the background of the rise of Nazism, War with the Newts concerns the discovery of a sea-dwelling race which is enslaved and exploited by mankind. In time they rebel, laying siege to the strongholds of their former masters in a global war for supremacy. And Ruhr, or Rossum's Universal Robots, is regarded as the most important play in the history of sci-fi. It introduced the word robot and gave the genre one of its most enduring tropes. Haven't read that either. God, so many things to read. What are you reading at the moment? At the moment I'm reading Lolita, and which is great. I'm really enjoying Lolita. Glad I'm finally getting around to reading it. And Crime and Punishment is looking at me with complete judgment from my bedside table. Why are you finishing me? Yeah. What are you reading? Let me know. Comments down below. If you want to chat about any of these books, comments, whatever, send me a message. I don't know how this all works. This has been One Foot of Books, episode 8. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Thanks for watching me. There's something like 700,000 hours of footage uploaded to YouTube every day, and I'm very grateful that you stuck your important time out with me. Yeah, and I'll be back next week. Alright. Have a great week, everybody. Read more. Love more. Fight less. I don't know. Just looking for a catchphrase or something. Bye.